BJJ chat.
There you go.
I said it to you before you did.
What's our topic this week, Ben?
Well, I've got a controversial one, or not controversial one.
It's going to be awkward. Yeah, tell me.
What do you do when you're demotivated in training?
That's a good one. I thought it was going to be something horrendous.
See, what he thought I was going to say was...
What do you do when you get a boner roll then? Hide it. Tuck it behind between your legs.
Or your partner's legs.
Don't pull them out. Do not pull them out. If you're demotivated with training, so the question is, why are you demotivated? So what do you think were the reasons that somebody would get demotivated?
Okay, number one, you got an injury.
Okay, so injury is definitely probably the number one biggest reason someone's demotivated. I think you have to accept it. It's part of the process if you want to be good at jiu-jitsu. Like, if you can't stomach the fact that you're going to get some little niggling injuries along the way, it's possibly not for you. But to that end, the trick is to be patient before coming back on the mat. Right? And then...
Let's say that no one does that.
No one does it. But I'll tell you what, try and see there's positives to everything, right? So if you lose your job, you're like, I didn't like that boss anyway, there's more opportunities. And sometimes you look back at life and the real shit things kind of led to the real good things. So I think if you get, like, the times I've been injured, when I've come back on the mat, I've just been so happy to be on the mat. It's not about winning, losing, it's not about, did I get swept, or did this person tap me, or have I improved, or I got this competition. It's just, I'm on the mat, that's so good. And to like get that perspective back is good, to have that. And there's like, maybe you've hurt your leg so you can't roll.
Yeah.
Right? And you can't, let's say you got 6 weeks out with a strained ligament or something. That's 6 weeks where you can go to the gym and you can work on your upper body strength, right?
No.
Or you can find some positives to keep some progress.
Some people don't do that though. They should do, but they don't. Okay, number two.
Yep.
Always end up working with the same people that always beat you.
Who are you referring to?
Not me. I'm pretty stoic about this. I know I'm going to get beaten, so that's not the issue. But there are people out there that, especially when they first start in jiu-jitsu,
Yeah.
like, it gets just completely demoralising that the guy, the higher grade, taps you the same thing week in, week out, and whatever you do, you can never fucking figure it. It's like a heel hook or something.
So, I think the key to progress in jiu-jitsu is to go with people that are a little bit better than you and a little bit worse than you. Because if you go with the monster in your gym, let's say you're a good blue belt, right? And you go, there's a black belt European champion in your gym. If you go with that guy, he can just smash you at everything, right? Let's be honest, if they're the same weight, especially if they're bigger, he can just choose what he wants out of his repertoire and beat you up with it, right? So it's kind of pointless. It's a bit pointless for both of you. But if you're a good...
Why is it pointless for him? Because you could say that demotivations can be the other way around as well.
Yeah, being big fish, small pond. But this is the same thing. For everyone, if you go with people a little bit worse than you, you can practice the stuff you're not quite as good at, right? Not a white belt and you're a black belt where you can just do anything, right? But they're a little bit worse. I can go, okay, I need to work on my escapes on this side, I'm weak that side, or this sweep. If they're a little bit better, they're going to push you without it being so demoralising that you can't get anything, right? So if you're in the gym and the same person smashes you every week, if they're just way better than you, or bigger than you, or whatever, maybe they're not the person to train with. Because you're wasting that 5-minute round on something you're not going to get any progress with.
Still on point number two.
Okay.
Being demotivated because no one wants to work with you.
Wash your gi, wash your balls. It's important.
Well, I put my balls in your mouth all the time. You never seem to wash it properly.
So, what's the reason somebody doesn't want to work with you? One, this person.
You?
I don't want to work with you?
I don't know.
I love working with you.
Oh, that's alright then. I think it's because sometimes they've got the other angle with the fact that maybe you are just that marginally a little bit better than them, and rather than embracing that, and you embracing that, and thinking I need to change my game, but that doesn't happen, does it?
Yeah, I mean, it's going into a round. The problem is people train to... The biggest demotivation is that people train to win. whereas the objective of training is to train and improve.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, if you roll with someone better than you and they catch you a couple of times, like, that's probably made you a little bit better than you just muttering some beginner who doesn't know what they're doing. So, but the way you feel, your ego, that's the constant battle. The battle is the ego in jiu-jitsu, in anything really, but especially jiu-jitsu, because it's so black and white, win, lose. It's like, I would have broken your arm, but you quit like a chicken, right? So that's the kind of the constant thing we're fighting with, and and it's one of the issues with the belts. The belts are kind of, they can hold people back.
Well, because this would be point number 3.
Yeah, let's say I'm a black belt and you're a purple belt.
Mm-hmm.
I could be like, and you tap me out, and I could be like, no, that purple belt shouldn't tap me out. So I'll never do the shit I'm bad at. I'll never let you start on top. I'll never let you do my weak side. I'll never practice things I'm not good at.
It just sounds so familiar.
Because I don't want to lose. But then the whole point is to push yourself to your limit, and on that limit you're gonna have to cross it occasionally and not get broken, but tap out.
Okay, so point number 3 for being demotivated is your grade.
Your instructor's not grading you?
I don't know. I'm just saying this as a rhetorical question.
So I'm going to say this. This is for everyone listening to this. We'll share it on Reddit. This is important advice, and it's not done by anyone in the jiu-jitsu community. You are paying your instructor money. They owe you something. They're not a guru. This is not a cult. It is a bit of a cult, but it's not a cult. You're paying them for a service. You're allowed to have feedback, right? If I paid a driving instructor and I never got my driving license, I should be able to go to that driving instructor and say, what am I doing wrong?
Not giving head.
Not giving head. But yeah, pretty girls always pass. But I'm an instructor. I have a lot of students. I always say to my students, if you feel like you're not getting stripes fast enough, if someone else is ahead of you, if you feel like you're being held back, you're frustrated, go and talk to your instructor. Because if they are holding you back, they'll tell you why. They say, look, I want you to compete, or I want you to train more, or Dave trains 3 times a week, you train once a week, of course I'm grading faster, or you've done other martial arts, I expect you to be more athletic and I expect more from you. Or, it's just, you're doing well, you're improving, it's going to take more time. Or they're saying specific. When you roll, you never do the stuff you're bad at. You only beat people with the same 3 moves. I want variation.
Thanks,
you get judo guys that won't ever go on their back and play guard. Of course you're not going to get a jiu-jitsu bout. You're not playing jiu-jitsu, you're playing judo under jiu-jitsu rules.
Why do I feel like this has been...
No, not you. So I'm saying this, talk to your instructor. Forget this guru, they know, they're so wise, they have a grand plan. No, they don't. Most jiu-jitsu instructors been hitting the head a lot, choked too much.
Choked too much? They've not been hitting the head.
Yeah, but they're martial artists. Probably been hitting the head a lot, choked too much. If they've got a big school, they've got 200 students, what's the chances that 2 or 3 people have been overlooked? Almost guaranteed.
Almost, definitely.
Maybe more than that, maybe half of the students, right? So, because you might go to the instructor and go, look mate, I've been in white belt 2 years, what do I need to do to get my blue belt? And that instructor will go, oh shit, I didn't realise they'd been a white belt 2 years. And they go look at their register, which they should be on top of, but not everyone is, and they give you the belt. And it's like, people quit before they talk to their teacher. They will quit before they're asked.
What about those that get graded and then quit? What's that about?
Every time a blue belt quits, Hickson Gracie kills a kitten.
But it's true. People get demotivated after they've been promoted.
I think it's like a football team, right? You're in League One and you're winning every weekend and your fans love it. You get promoted to the Premier League. I don't know football, this is going to be evident. But all of a sudden, you've gone from winning every weekend to winning once every 5 games or something, right? Just to stay in that league. And it can be, especially, you're the king of white belts, and then you get your blue belt and you're bottom of the pile. Then you're the king of blue belts, you get your purple belt, you're bottom of the pile. And then brown to black is freaking horrendous. To go from being a monster brown belt to being, shit, I've got to be as good as all these legends, all these heroes I've looked up to, and I'm supposed to be on that level now. That's a big challenge. I think you just got to realise that it's a long process from beginner blue belt to almost purple belt. It's like 2, 3, 4 years depending on the person. So it's just got to take time. And if you're not willing to commit that time, maybe it is a good idea that you quit and do something else.
That's okay, right?
Quitting, it's not for everyone.
Not for everyone to quit, or not for everyone to.
No, what's it? Let's say you try jiu-jitsu, you hate people sitting on you. You hate being choked. You hate close personal contact, right? My advice would be, my actual advice, if people could stick to this, is do it for like 3 or 4 months. So that if anyone ever sits on you, squishes you, you will be able to escape. Someone's done jiu-jitsu 4 months, it's got massively increased their chances self-defense wise, right? But if you do, and you've given it a bloody good go, if you go 4 months and then you go to your teacher, look, I've done 4 months and this is just not for me, they can't really argue with you.
No.
You know, if you did 1 week of language lessons or 1 week of gymnastics or anything else, you went, it's not for me, it's like you haven't done enough to judge.
Yeah, but conversely, I think like when you first start out, it is like I suppose Marmite is the best. Either you love it or you hate it, right?
Yeah, definitely.
But you should have that at the back of your mind. The reason why you started out originally. So if you have become demotivated, think about what hooked you in the first place. Don't think about what the challenge is now.
And I think the reason we've gone through this is usually it's not the class or the instructor or whatever. It's usually it's your internal monologue.
Yeah, totally.
Your own reality that you created for yourself that you should be able to beat this person, or you should. Like for me, I'm a black belt, right? And it's supposed to signify something. When I came up, I was like, black belt, wow. And like the truth is, these super athletic purple belts tap me out. When like white or blue belt, if I fuck up, will tap me out, right? And it's like there is no. It doesn't really matter. Like I just do the sport because I love it. If I love football, I would play football every weekend. I wouldn't care that I get wear a black t-shirt or a pink t-shirt. Just do it because it's fun. And I think that sometimes the no-gi world is quite good, where it's just
there's
the fun of it.
There's no grade, so the grade is no longer so much of a thing.
Yeah, I think the grade has value to it, and it's nice to have goals if you're not a competitive person, and it means it's good if you're a teacher because you have an instant, look, I know what I'm talking about, I've got this belt on. But beyond that, it's just a piece of cloth.
Yeah.
The information in my head is, like, it doesn't change. If I put a white belt on, I roll the same way. Like, makes no difference. It's not a power-up, it's not a mushroom in Super Nintendo.
That'd be so good, wouldn't it? That'd be so good.
The black belt pill. You suddenly start Baramola and you're just watching yourself.
Yeah, but I'm just thinking about the mushroom. Guess what happens when you eat a mushroom on Mario?
It just trips, like, it's huge.
Yeah.
You're 6'7".
Yes. I want that for my belt.
I feel like you're going to take mushrooms before class and just be slobbering. I'm winning! Ben's tripping balls again.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, so going back to be demotivated, it's okay, but just take a step back. I think just take a step back and rationalise it.
Talk to your instructor. I've gone through periods of injury and where my skills have really plateaued, and I've been
haven't we? Yeah.
I was really close to quitting, like to the point where I sat in my car outside class one day going, "Is this really what I want to do?" And it was a combination of other people coming up beating me, being stuck at the same belt way longer than I should have been, having 3 or 4 injuries in a row and surgeries, and like the combination of all those things, I was like, it's just. The progress is too slow, I'm not getting better, everyone else is improving. No matter what I do, it's not...
Yeah, talking about progress and obviously being demotivated by that, I think one thing you don't appreciate is if you are working with the same group, which is invariably what you will do...
Everyone gets better.
Everyone's getting better at the same rate as you, so it's all relative. So you may not feel you're getting any better, but it's because everyone else is progressing at the same pace.
So one day a beginner will come in and you'll smash it.
Oh!
You go, oh shit. And that's it, like, train more. Like, if you go, oh, I'm demotivated because this guy, my mate Dave, I train with, he's better than me. And it's like, don't tell Dave, but go to extra classes.
I think you've just told Dave.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, just do more. Watch some YouTube videos. Like, most people are one-trick ponies. Probably got 2 or 3 things he does well. Like, learn how to defend those. It's going to be more fun. But, yeah, just... It is what it is. It's just it's a very frustrating martial art because it's very hard to judge progress.
And we didn't even talk about my controversial topic of conversation. He doesn't want me to bring it up.
That's the hardest thing. If you're in the gym lifting weights, right? You go, okay, I lifted a couple of K heavier than last week. I've got 1 more rep in. Right? If you run, you're like, okay, I took a minute off. I took a minute off my 10k time or whatever.
I'm going to say it.
If you're doing jiu-jitsu, it's so hard to say, am I getting better? It's all like self-evaluation, and we are, like, as human beings, we're just so shit at evaluating ourselves.
Do you know what? My mirror is amazing. I look in it, and I'm 6 foot tall. Like, I'm about 20. I think I'm pretty good at evaluating myself.
That's it. Like, as humans, we go, am I getting better at jiu-jitsu? And we're the same humans that have bigorexia and you're the size of a house and think you're a weed, or anorexia where you're skinny as a twig and you think you're fat, and like, you know, personality disorders that you can't figure out, and there's just too much shit. It's like, it's so hard to judge. You just have to have faith in the process. There's a degree of like a leap of faith that if I keep doing it, I'll get better.
Listen to this book, right? And this guy didn't have short-term memory, so he couldn't remember anything. Come in.
The noisiest human alive. What was that door? I just gently.
Apparently, the door is broke. Someone's just come in.
Yeah, elephant just wandered in. With a bad hip.
I think that's us out.
We're out!